Hey everyone, welcome into the live stream today. Look, we're going to be talking about today the untold truth of life insurance sales. And I've got some deep feelings on this one, and it is pretty serious to me about what I see happening over and over again. If you don't know, only 8% of people make it in this industry. I mean, if you follow Cody Askins, he has the whole thing on 8% Nation. 92% of people fail out of this business, usually with, in the first 2, 3 years. They're gone. Some within the first year, 6 months, whatever it is. And there's some reasons behind this and why. So let's start at the beginning. Every one of us that are in the life insurance industry, probably about 99.9% of us were recruited. Nobody went to high school, and when I graduated high school, I want to be a life insurance agent. There's no college you can go to sell life insurance or, stuff like that. So we were recruited. We were given an opportunity. We were made an offer. We were shown a path to actually what most of us want to know as financial freedom, right? Running our own business, making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, ticking off all the boxes, right? But most of what we are told just ticks off a few boxes. And the main box it ticks off is you're going to make a lot of money. If we're honest with ourselves, that's kind of what attracted us and drew us into this whole thing. And then when you take a look at, once you get into the industry, how this thing actually works, and the things that we're literally not told upfront, but have to figure out as we go. Do I have to tell you about chargebacks? If you've never had a chargeback, may the Lord bless you and keep you, because you will have one. It's or more than a few. It's going to happen. I know someone that had over $150,000 in roll-up debt. Now, chargebacks and roll-up debt are almost the same thing. Chargebacks are on you. Roll-up debt are from your team. You have team members that sold a lot of policies. They got chargebacks. They quit the business. Guess what? Now you're responsible for paying off that debt. We're not told these things at the beginning, but we find out later on in life. So that's just one of the untold truths of life insurance sales, right? Is that, does it mean that you can't be successful? No. It means that you actually have to have a strategy and a plan that works. It means you have to be good at your own finances. It means you have to be good at your own cash flow, at your own debt to income ratio. All of these things, right? We have to be good at these things. But let me tell you one of the things, or a couple of the things that always comes up. And this is one of the reasons why we are doing the Make More Sales Challenge. Link is in the description. You kind of see it right. Get my finger right there. Make More Sales Challenge logo. That's right there, right? It's one of the reasons we're doing that, so that we can try and start helping you figure these things out that maybe you don't even know are issues, or maybe you're having these issues and you need to start overcoming them. But let's go back a little bit further to the beginning and talk about some things here. Being in this industry as long as I've been in it, actually, I was first licensed in 1994, so it's been a minute. We are hyper-focused on leads. Now, you ought to be focused on leads, because if you don't have leads, then that means you don't actually have a business, right? If you don't have leads, then you do not have a business. But here's the thing. People are chasing after lead vendors, lead sources every day, every week. But there's a caveat that you're missing that needs to be addressed, that quite honestly, no one ever wants to dig deep into this. I've talked about what I'm about to talk about so many times, but it seems like not many people ever, if at all, want to dig into this reality. So if we're chasing leads all the time, and we're asking our upline, we're asking other people in this organization and that organization, where are you getting your leads from? What are you doing? Where are you getting your leads from? I see you on the leaderboard. Where are you getting your leads from? And so they tell you, and then from whatever lead source you were using, you hop over to the other lead source. And guess what? Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Here's the untold truth about life insurance sales when it comes to leads. Are you ready for this here? Most of you don't have a leads problem. You don't. You have an exorbitant amount of leads. If you've been buying leads, from lead vendors or wherever you've been buying them from, you probably have hundreds, if not thousands of leads that have never been sold. And you're constantly trying to go to that next thing that you think is going to be the thing for you, but it never is the thing. And there's a reason why. And I'm going to get into that in just a moment. So you see someone that is killing it in life insurance sales. You're envious. You're jealous. Man, I wish I could do that. It must be his lead source. And you go, you ask, and they tell you what the lead source is. But you know what no one ever asks? Most of the time, they never ask this question. How are you being successful at sales? Leads, first of all, they're super expensive. You're paying an exorbitant price for them. If you're buying brand new, let's just call it Facebook leads, or you're deep into, buying mortgage protection leads, which are like $80 a pop. All of these leads are super expensive, and they don't have to be. The only reason they are that expensive is because you don't own the lead source. You're paying someone to actually be in charge of the most important part of your business, which is your leads. And you're paying a premium for it. You're paying a premium for that. We want to make sure you get that premium down because it does not have to be that expensive. But now you're paying all this money for leads. People have said, no, I do this and I use this lead vendor and I do this, and they're being successful. But you never ask the question, how are you selling the leads? What's your process? How are you doing this? Most life insurance agents believe that it is the leads that makes them successful, but it's not. You need the leads. But if I gave you 100, 1,000, 10,000 leads, but you don't know how to sell, none of it will matter. The focus is so hyper on leads that there is no focus on actually becoming what you are, which is a salesperson. You may not like to hear it, but I'm sorry, it is the truth. And if you don't know how to literally convert a prospect to a client through a sales process using intelligent sales skills, because you've never developed those skills, that will constantly be a problem for you. The most important thing that you need to focus on, especially since we were all recruited from whatever 9 to 5 we had, corporate job or whatever, that may never have had anything to do with sales. You may never have gone through any sales training. And then it's a bigger problem because when you ask someone, an upline or someone else, what do I need to do to get better? The answer is always buy more leads. Am I lying here? The answer is always buy more leads. We got a person over AMFN. Talk that talk. Leads is the first step to make a sale, not the only step. Absolutely true. We're going through these and jumping through these hoops of lead vendor to lead vendor, but we're never jumping the hoop of how do I get better at sales? Now, people have a term that I've heard. You need to get better on the phones. That doesn't say much, because even when people say you need to get better on the phones, they're just talking about you making more dials, which you need to make the dials. But at the point where someone answers the phone, if you're not on point with what you say in the first 3 seconds, you're done. You're done. In that first 3 seconds, people are doing this whole thing wrong. We need to get better. And you don't understand there is a psychology to the sale. The psychology to the sale is not about sounding like a salesperson that you are, but it is about being proficient enough at the sales skills and mastering those skills that will take you to the next level. It is not in your next lead source. It is in your next thing that you do to become better at sales. Now, I've talked about some of this ad nauseum before, but I'm going to talk about it again because you're not hearing me. Tiger Woods has a coach. Serena Williams has a coach. Beyonce has a coach. Anybody at the top of their game has a coach. And my thing is, if you're going to be a leader, and you, especially if you're going to run a team, how are you going to coach them? And you don't know. How are you going to give them instruction that you actually have no clue about? They're going to struggle the same way that you did. And so if you know that all these people, and I talked about sports references and then a singer, Beyonce or whatever. When we talk about sports, and you folks that are sports folks know this, these athletes, I don't care what the sport is, they are recording their games and they're rewatching those games to see where they need to get better. This is what a professional does. I had a conversation with my team this morning that I coach, and I said, literally this morning, I said, I went back and listened to a previous conversation that I had, a sales conversation. And I saw why, and I said to myself, why did you do that? Why did you say that? Why did you allow that to occur? And if I had never went back and watched it myself, or listen, and it was on Zoom, so I could watch it, or you can listen to a recorded call or whatever. But if I don't go back and watch, and this is why, even for my sales team, every sales call is recorded so that we can go back and address what needs to be fixed. You have no idea what needs to be fixed because you're not recording your call. If just one person that watches this video, one life insurance agent, took the advice that I'm giving to do this, one, it means that you're actually plugged in to becoming better at what it is that you do. Most people, as always, will ignore this, but I'm telling you that this one thing will change your game. You need to be recording every sales call. You guys are using all these fancy smancy CRMs anyway that record stuff. Why aren't you using it? There's plenty of apps that you can download online that will allow you to do that so that you can start getting better at what it is that you actually want to do, which is sell more life insurance. And here's the thing, because everybody wants to tout, hey, I do this because I want to help people. No one is helped until you make the sale. No one is helped until you make the sale. So if you're not able to make the sale, who are you helping? Who are you helping? Now, this takes a lot of humility to admit that you're not good at this. But here's the thing. If you're asking someone how they're on the leaderboard, where they're getting their leads from, and they tell you, and you hop over and get those same type of leads, but you're not able to get on the leaderboard, there's something else wrong. Do you see this? There's something else wrong. And that always comes back to the individual. It always comes back to the individual. What do I need to be better at? And how do I need to get there? I've given you one step, start recording your call, so at least you can hear that. But then also you need coaching and training. You need to be talking to people on a consistent basis, coaches that can actually help you get better at this. Join the Make More Sales Challenge. The link is literally in the description for you to be able to join the Make More Sales Challenge. If you want to do this, I heard a conversation yesterday, I believe it was, and I was watching something on YouTube, and a coach was talking about they were coaching someone, not in the life insurance industry, but the person was saying that they were a six-figure earner and they wanted to teach, I believe it was financial literacy, if I'm not mistaken, and they wanted to teach this. And the person they were on the phone with, which was their coach, said, well, you need to get this. And it cost like $900 and some dollars or whatever. Let's just call it $1,000. And this six-figure earner that wanted to continue to grow a business balked at paying $1,000 for something that would actually help them get to where it is that they wanted to be, because they did not have that knowledge or know-how. The coach said, you're telling me that you can do all this and that, and I'm telling you what it is that you need, and you're not going to do it. You're not going to spend $900 to make six figures, multiple six figures. You're honestly going to tell me that. This is a business that we're all in, and there are investments that we need to make. And I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest investments is going to be in self-development. Now, I don't care if you buy books, watch YouTube videos, hire a coach, whatever it is. But you can do all of that, but if you do not execute on what it is that you're told, you already have admitted you wanted to get better. You've already admitted you want to make more sales. Whether you've admitted to me or not doesn't matter. You've admitted it to yourself. You want to get better at this thing, and you don't understand why some people are getting better, making all this money, but you're not. You haven't invested in yourself in money or in time. The only thing that people have invested in, and sometimes not even that much money, is leads. That's it. No development on sales. No development on no personal development. No getting 1% better every day at the thing that you know is holding you back. And so if you're seeing someone that's on the leaderboard and they're making all this money, and then you ask them that almighty question, where are you getting your leads from? They tell you, and then you go to that same lead source, but you do not, or are not able to achieve what it is that they are achieving, it's because that's not your problem. Your problem is something else. Your problem is sales. Your problem is your sales process. And also your problem is the amount of money that you're willing to invest in leads. Now, what you do, a good friend of mine says, I have no dog in this fight. I'm just a fan that came to say hi. That's a line from The Social Network, talking about Facebook. Go watch the movie. But there's something else other than leads that is your problem. And you're constantly bouncing from lead source to lead source. One, because you don't own your own lead source, which is a problem. You're not getting the appropriate sales training that you need. Sales training is not a script. Sales training has to do with, yes, what it is that you say, but it is also how it is that you say it, and the tonality that's involved. It's about the questions that you ask and how you ask those questions. It is about overcoming objections before they become objections. And if you don't know anything about what I've just said, and your only answer that you're ever getting to your questions about how to get better is buy more leads and make more calls, there's a problem here, because that is not going to help you get better. You already know this. You already know this. I want you to go ahead and, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you. Hit the wrong button. I want you to go ahead and join the Make More Sales Challenge. The link is in the description. It's going to help you get to where it is that you need to get. Now, look, I'm going to tell you this flat out. If you're not willing to make a serious change about your process and what it is that you're doing, If you're good with where you are and you feel like you don't need any of this, hey, mazel tov to you. But if you want to be honest with yourself and know that you've been doing this for a while and it's not getting any better, there's probably a change you need to make. Hop on the Make More Sales Challenge. The link is in the description. Have a great one.